Military parents deploy knowing they might not be reachable when something goes wrong. The rules they give their children before leaving are not the same rules most civilian parents give. These 9 come from that conversation. Rule 5 is the one military parents say most civilian families get completely backwards. The meeting point is never home. Every instinct tells a child to go home when an emergency begins. Military families specifically train against this instinct. Home is the first place that may be inaccessible. Roads blocked, structure damaged, parents unable to reach it. Every military family designates a primary meeting point that is not home. A neighbor 2 streets over, a specific church, a library, and a secondary if the primary is unreachable. A child walking toward home through a compromised environment is moving toward an uncertain destination. A child walking to a known meeting point is executing a plan 2 adults agreed on before the emergency started. Know 3 trusted adults by face, name, and address, not phone number. A phone number is useless when cell service is down. A face, a name, and a physical address are not. Military families build a chain of 3 trusted adults, neighbors, family friends, school parents, whose homes a child can physically walk to. The 3-person chain matters because the first trusted adult may not be home. The third exists specifically for when the first 2 options have failed. Most civilian children can recite their parents' cell phone numbers and nothing else, a capability that provides 0 value when cell service fails and the child is standing at the end of a street wondering what to do. The 72-hour wait rule. Do not leave the meeting point for 72 hours. The specific military family protocol is not to wait indefinitely. It is to wait exactly 72 hours at the primary meeting point before moving to the secondary. 72 hours is the window within which a separated parent, if reachable at all, will typically have been able to establish contact through a third party or through the trusted adult network. A child who abandons the meeting point at hour 24 may leave 48 hours before the parent arrives. The rule converts the most dangerous emotional impulse, I need to do something, into a specific instruction. Stay at the meeting point for exactly 72 hours before the next step. 3 rules. Not one involves gear, food, or water. Everyone addresses the gap that makes a child survivable without a parent knowing where to go, who to go to, and how long to wait. The next 3 address communication, decision-making, in the one rule military families consider the most important of all. The physical signal at home tells you whether to enter or stay away. A prearranged physical signal at the household, a specific item in the window, a mark on the door frame, a colored ribbon at a visible location, tells a child whether the home is safe to enter, whether someone is inside waiting, or whether to proceed directly to the meeting point without stopping. A household that has been compromised produces no visible sign that distinguishes it from a safe one without an agreed signal. The signal is agreed before separation. A child approaching home after a crisis who sees the agreed signal understands the situation immediately without entering a potentially unsafe structure. A person in uniform is not automatically safe. A person your family trusts is. The instinct trained into children from the earliest age is that a person in uniform represents safety and the right person to approach. Military parents who have served in environments where that assumption is dangerous train a different rule. The trusted person is the person your family already knows, not the person wearing a recognizable uniform. In a major domestic emergency, the people in uniform may be law enforcement, National Guard, private security, or any number of organizations with varying accountability. The military parent's rule is not to distrust uniforms. It is to prioritize the known trusted adult over the unknown uniformed stranger. Tell no one what you have at home. Tell no one you are alone. A child who mentions to a neighbor that the family has stored food or tells a classmate that one parent is deployed and the other is working nights has created 2 vulnerability windows, resource targeting and occupancy information. Military families train children not to discuss household preparedness levels, not to confirm that adults are absent, and not to provide household routine information to anyone outside the trusted adult network. This is not distrust of neighbors under normal conditions. It is understanding that emergency scenarios change the incentive structures of people around you in ways that cannot be predicted. And information shared before an emergency cannot be unshared during one. 6 rules from the protocol military families build before every deployment. The specific conversation about what children do if the parent cannot get home, cannot communicate, and cannot be reached. The final 3 are the hardest to teach and the most important to have in place. A 2-item go bag carried at all times, non-negotiable. Military families do not send children to school with 40 lb bug-out bags. They send them with 2 items that fit in a standard school backpack, a laminated emergency card, and a phone battery backup. The laminated card contains the home address, 3 trusted adult names and addresses, the primary and secondary meeting point locations, and the 72-hour rule in the child's own language. It does not require memory, a charge device, or cell service. The battery backup provides phone charging capability for the first 24 hours after a device dies. Most children carry a fully charged phone and nothing else, a single point of failure. Shelter in place is almost always correct. Moving is almost always wrong. When a child is unsure whether to stay or move, the correct answer is almost always to stay. Movement creates exposure. A child moving through an uncertain environment looking for a parent, responding to fear, is visible, vulnerable, and making decisions with incomplete information. A child sheltering in place at a known location is findable, and executing a plan the searching parent is also following. Military doctrine defaults to the established plan over improvised movement because improvisation compounds uncertainty. The rule is to move only toward a pre-established plan point, and if no plan point is within reach, to stay where it is safest. You are not responsible for the adults. You are responsible for the plan. Children in crisis experience documented pressure to become caregivers, to manage younger siblings, to support panicking adults, to solve problems they do not have the capability to solve. Military parents specifically tell their children, your job is not to take care of everyone around you. Your job is to execute the plan, reach the meeting point, wait 72 hours, contact the trusted adult chain, signal the house correctly. These are specific executable tasks a child can complete, regardless of what is happening around them. A child who abandons the plan to manage someone else's crisis may fail to complete the one task that matters most, being at the place the parent is looking for them. 9 rules, everyone teachable to a child old enough to attend school. The difference between a military child and a civilian child in an emergency is not capability. It is having had the conversation that most civilian parents assume they do not need to have until it is already too late. Military parents have this conversation before every deployment. Most civilian parents have never had it once. Every rule can be taught in a single afternoon. Military families have it not because they expect the worst, but because the conversation costs nothing and its absence costs everything. If these protocols change the way you think about your family's safety, please subscribe and like the video. We are uncovering the survival strategies that are often overlooked. Prepare for the future. Our next guide will be available soon.